everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Zach. I'm your host. This is my co-host Tariq.
I'm Tariq. I'm the co-host, and we're here with Soren and Dale.
Pleasure to meet everyone.
All right. Thank you both for being on here, and don't forget to comment. We will get back to that in the Q&A. So let's get started then. Dale, so why don't you give us a brief introduction of yourself, like where you attended school, your background, that kind of thing.
Sure. So pleasure to speak to everyone tonight for those of you who are listening. So as Zach mentioned, I'm Dale Jarris. A little bit about myself. I was an undergraduate at University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign as a mechanical engineer. After graduating in 2012, spent 5 years as an engineer at Caterpillar doing hydraulic and fluid component design. And then after that, went actually back to business school at University of Michigan Ross, which is probably my familiarity and connectivity to Ann Arbor Spark and the Digital Clinic by spending time in Ann Arbor. And while I was in Ann Arbor at Michigan as a business school student, I actually founded Immersity, which is the company I'll kind of be speaking about today. But I won't necessarily dive too much into that right now because I'm sure that's going to be a follow-up question. So I'll pause there.
All right. And Soren, how about you tell us about yourself, more about your background?
Yeah, sure. So I was born and raised in Romania, in Europe. I did my bachelor's and master's there in Bucharest. I studied computer science. Then I went a little bit everywhere. I went for a year, I worked in Italy for a small startup. Then I went to the UK. I did my PhD at University of St. Andrews, which is like the third oldest in the UK after Oxford and Cambridge. Then I went back to Italy, worked for another startup. Then I came to Canada. I got an academic position at Wayne State University. Then I took a leave of absence. I went for work for another startup in LA. Then I went back, and eventually, a few years ago, I started my own company, Advaita Bioinformatics. So that's my track record.
That's quite a journey, all around the world too.
Like a fly on a map, right?
Yeah, there you go. Pinpoint that. All right, Dale, here comes that follow-up question. So tell me a bit about your company, Immersity, and why you founded it.
Of course. So yeah, when we were at University of Michigan, me and my co-founder found tremendous value in their experiential learning courses. Really what that means is getting outside of the classroom and being able to learn by applying yourself and immersing yourself in different organizations, companies, so on and so forth. I think the most traditional form of experiential learning is internships, but that's over the summer. Whereas U of M offered courses that were short-term in nature, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, as well as quarter-long courses of up to 8 weeks, where you were leaving the campus, going and experiencing and learning about different microeconomies, different companies, so on and so forth. So we got tremendous value out of that. And at the same time, we were doing a case study about a company called 2U that was kind of unbundling higher education. And what unbundling means was providing educational opportunities for students who weren't necessarily enrolled in elite institutions or enrolled in a full-time degree period, and being able to offer them certificates and credentials, for lack of a better term. But the unfortunate nature of those certificates and credentials were they were all asynchronous courses online where you kind of join, at 6 p.m. at night, and we'll either watch a video or listen to a professor talk to you through a screen, and they weren't experiential in nature. So we came up with the idea to kind of unbundle experiential learning from those elite institutions and make them more equitable and accessible for students who weren't necessarily able to do a full-time commitment to a full-time degree at various institutions. So that's what we do. We provide experiential courses. Most of them are global in nature. Granted, throughout the pandemic, we have been doing most domestic courses as well, but it provides an opportunity for students to enroll and go visit various different regions around the world, as well as industries per se, that they're able to kind of learn and understand what a career pathway would be in those industries or parts of the world.
Oh, yeah. I did a little research on the website, and I have a ton of respect for that idea. I know I myself learn mostly from experience too, so it's like a great concept for a company. And now, Soren, Can you tell us about Advaita Bio and what inspired you to start that company?
Sure. So I was a faculty at Wayne State University, and like any faculty, I had a research program or a research lab. So at some point, we developed some methods, and we thought those methods would be really important in helping people understanding disease mechanisms and being able to make progress to leverage the computer science technologies in life science research, right? So many people think that the same way the 20th century was the century of great discoveries in physics. You have like theory of relativity and principle of uncertainty and atomic energy and so on and so forth, right? The same way people expect the 21st century to be the century of great discoveries in life sciences. So that's why I went to in this direction. At the same time, there is a good fit. My PhD was in artificial intelligence, and I thought there would be a great opportunity to leverage that knowledge and that set of technologies and tools, if you wish, in this area. So we developed some new tools, and then the other aspect was in research in academia. Usually, people develop something, write papers, they publish them, and then they move on to the next topic. And for me, that was a little bit unsatisfying because you kind of you hope people will pick it up and use it. And I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to actually make sure that these technologies would be used because I thought they could really help people. So that's how I started a company to actually commercialize this. Initially, we developed these tools. We made them available for free from our website. But this was not sustainable because PhD students coming in, they came in to do research, not to support and maintain tools developed by other people before them. So that was the other aspect that suggested that it would be good to start the company and offer these tools commercially.
Right. It sounds like an excellent blend of computer science and just biotech in general. All right. And
That's what
now,
I thought.
exactly. Now back to Dale. So give us some insight into how your time at the Digital Summer Clinic helped your company.
Yeah, we've actually used the Digital Clinic for 2 years now. So we've kind of had a plethora of various different interns that have been able to support. We've had someone focused on digital marketing and social media. We've had someone focused on web development, someone focused on graphic design, and then another person focused on video production. So throughout the 2 years, all of that has been tremendously helpful, especially for a young startup. We founded the company in late 2018, so we were a fairly new company when we were engaged with the Digital Clinic for the first time. And for any startup founder, they pretty much know that you're really strapped for resources. So the fact that we had people supporting our business and the support of the Digital Clinic, and the other thing is the interns have access to mentors through the Digital Clinic as well. So if they didn't necessarily have that skill set or expertise, they were able to then go to their mentors and figure out those answers and come back to us with it. So we were just tremendously grateful, and they made lasting impacts on our business. They weren't just doing kind of busy work. Like our website today was designed by a Digital Summer intern. So we use our main marketing material that we use for a video was designed by a Digital Summer intern. So certainly provided us a lot of usable content moving forward for a small business.
Yeah, that's impressive. It gives opportunities to just the interns and the companies. All right. Now, Soren, I'm going to ask you a similar question. That's so what do you think the benefit of the Digital Summer Clinic is for companies in general?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity. I think there are benefits on both sides. For the company in particular, I support what Dale just said. It's a great way to get some the expertise and knowledge of some people who actually know something about this area. rather than somebody like me or one of my colleagues who are coming from completely different areas like sales or software development or something like that, right? So these students, they actually studied this as as academic courses, and they covered a certain curriculum that taught them things that I don't know, right? So it was a great opportunity to bring into the company expertise that we didn't have, and without, again, so as to Dale's point, a startup, a small company is going to have a very limited number of resources, and you cannot really go and hire somebody full-time to do digital marketing, at least not from the beginning. And also, sometimes consultants are expensive. So this internship was a great way to bring that expertise and provide some of this, create some of these resources and help us with everything that had to do with digital marketing. In our case, we only participated in the program 1 year. And the 2 interns that we had last year focused on automating our, let's say, engagement pipeline. So we have certain systems, and pretty much nowadays, almost everybody doing business has to have this kind of a digital engagement. So you have some email campaigns, and you have a CRM at the back, and you have a whole drip sequence of emails, and it has to be all put together. And that's what we use the interns for. They were involved in the digital marketing, in the social networking platforms. The presence of our company in the social media platforms were kind of managed by these students. And overall, I think it was a great experience, and we'd like to, offer those internships this year as well.
Yeah, we hope to have you back this year. All right, now in the interest of time, I'm actually going to turn over to Tariq early for the Q&A.
All right, I'm going to cover some of the questions in the comments. And the first one is Bud, and he says, for Dale, how does in-person experiential learning compare with online experiential learning?
Sure. So it's a little convoluted of a question. Some would argue that if it's online, it's not experiential at all. But I would actually disagree with that. We're actually launching a lot of experiential learning programs that are completely virtual, and bringing students to, especially during the pandemic, bringing students from Illinois and having them interact with nonprofit organizations in Ghana to work on poverty alleviation efforts. So you can certainly still do experiential learning online. Our pedagogical approach is always that in person, the fact that you're able to immerse yourself, there's just lessons learned by surrounding yourself in a certain environment that you can't get through a screen. For instance, in Ghana, working with a poverty alleviation effort through a screen, you're able to still work on that company and understand the complex issues. But there's nothing like standing in Ghana, understanding the cultural dynamics that are happening, some of the small moments that happen. Like a lot of the biggest learning lessons are through passive conversations that are just happening through natural interactions. So, it's kind of built into our DNA and kind of into the name of our company. Immersity is more or less Immersion University. So there's certainly lessons learned that can be had by being in person versus online, but that's not to say that you can't get experiential learning through online as well.
Good to know. Great insight. The next question also comes from Bud, and it says, for Soren, are you still a faculty? How do you balance faculty requirements with running a startup?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. Yes, I'm still a faculty. Even though I'm about to join the National Science Foundation. But I think the answer is, number one, you work a lot, which you have to do anyway as an entrepreneur. You kind of, you work all the time like a dog. And the other thing is, I think time management. I'm awful at it, but somehow I managed to do it. So essentially, you have to just every day on a day-to-day basis, you have to start the day by saying, here is what I need to accomplish in this area, and here is what I need to accomplish in that area. And, sometimes it's say, teach this course or grade this exam or whatever. And for the company, you have a certain number of things that you want to accomplish that particular day. And you go and you prioritize the higher priority first, and you go and do it. So the thing is to be able to switch, relatively quickly from one to another. But bottom line, you still have to work a lot. So I wish I had a better answers, but I don't.
That's incredible. So the next question we have is from Jamie, and this is open to anyone. What surprised you the most about working with interns in the clinic? This is open for anyone.
All right. Dale, would you like to take this one?
Sure. I think what surprised me the most was their productivity with the limited time that we had with them, and also their skill sets. So oftentimes internships are kind of designed to be these like pie in the sky, summer long projects where you're just more or less filling time. But with the digital summer clinic, we come up with like concrete tasks and projects that we need these students to work on. And 100% of the time that we've worked with them, they've been able to complete the tasks that we've been asking for them above and beyond kind of our expectations. So just super impressed with the talent and the quality that comes out of the program and their ability to kind of work within the limited time that we even have with them in the first place.
Great to know. Our next question comes from Anna, and it says, what makes the digital summer clinic different from other internships?
Soren, would you like to answer this one?
Sure. That's an interesting question. In our experience, there are some confounding factors because we had interns before that, but that was also before COVID. So they were in person. So the interns that we had last year, they were all kind of remote because of the COVID. So that was a big difference. Of course, it's not related to the digital marketing, but for us, it's, as I said, that was a big difference between the way we interacted with the students and with the interns and so on and so forth. I think as Dale said, the skill set. Usually when we have interns, they come with a less well-defined set of skills. We had people who were just about to start their college and they came for an internship over the summer. And so they're just finishing, they just finished high school. They had the general knowledge that high school provides, whether that's in contrast with a specific set of skills, right? We had other interns who came over the summer while doing their degrees, their bachelor. And again, they start to be more specialized, but this is kind of, they come at the end of this digital internship program, and they really have a lot of skills in these particular areas. And that's very nice because you don't need to, and by the way, beforehand. I think the way Bud and his colleague are running this is great because you have to think beforehand, hey, if I were to get some interns, what would they be doing? What are the kind of aspects that I would ask them to work on? So that allows you to plan a little bit and match the students. So I think it's overall the matching, the set of skills, and the fact that you have to give it some forethought. I think those are three elements between the regular internship when somebody says, hey, I want to spend the summer in your company and this particular program. I think those are the three that come to mind, and they're also three important ones that are really very, very positive.
Great. And now we have our last question.
Unfortunately, we are just about out of time, so we won't be able to take this question. But before we head out, thanks for everyone tuning in. Soren, Dale, it was great to have you on. And one important announcement, be sure to check out our events. This is the banner for that right here, but the Google tour has been postponed to the 18th. I will throw the link up for that now. They're taking a company-wide day off. Now, and stay tuned for our next episode on the Wednesday the 16th at 6 p.m. We are going to have a couple former interns and a field manager on to discuss some networking strategies. All right, have a great night. Don't forget to apply. Here's the link for that, digitalsummer.clinic.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thanks all.